The odds are stacked against your family. Well, that is if you don't leave them this necessary tool of instructions. But if you do, the odds of success, happiness, and living a life they love are in their grasp. Leaving money behind typically divides and destroys when it's outright distributed. I've seen it firsthand. Just think of the entitled children of wealthy people you've seen in drama articles, every freaking movie, and it just happens year after year. You can work a lifetime and then destroy your loved ones twice. First with the grief of loss, and then the greed that comes shortly after. Or really you can do something different, which is create a family constitution. So when I wrote this book, What Would the Rockefellers Do? Before it was ready, I sent it out to 10 people. One of the people I sent it to was Dan Martell. He sold 3 companies in San Francisco, an amazing entrepreneur and educator, has a SaaS Academy, just one of these guys I highly respect. And he happened to get it right before he got on a flight, read it, and then immediately said, I was gonna leave my kids with nothing. I was never gonna leave them a penny. And this has completely transformed and changed my mind because we're talking about how to leave opportunity rather than entitlement. So I convinced him against something he had a firm belief, and then it completely changed because of the mindset and the framework, right? So what changed his mind? Well, while researching for What Would the Rockefellers Do, I witnessed a family constitution. Let me break this down into 3 simple parts for you. What's a family constitution? What makes it the best instructions for a happy family life? And how can it stay with your family for generations to come, leaving the right signposts? Okay, the first part is the ingredients captured for a family constitution. It really comes in a description where there's a link and a downloadable PDF that's going to help you to understand and create your own family constitution. If you go to wealthfactory.com/family, wealthfactory.com/family, you can download this. You can click on that link, and I'll give you kind of pieces of my family constitution and ask you questions for you to discover your own. It's so important because the United States Constitution is the oldest and shortest written constitution in the world. It's 4,400 words, and it's played an unmistakable role in limiting government and creating freedom. A carefully crafted family constitution is designed to do the same thing. See, the purpose of the U.S. Constitution is to protect, not grant, the natural rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as contained in the Declaration of Independence, and the right to property is added by John Locke, right? This pursuit of happiness replaced property in the Declaration of Independence. A family constitution can protect equal rights, not provide equal things. Through proper incentive-based planning, having a board of trustees, which I'll talk about in a bit, and a defined philosophy, your heirs can benefit as wise stewards over the resources provided, but they're not actually entitled to anything if they choose to sit around, do nothing, or be some couch potato. See, that's what changed Dan's mind. So start capturing your lessons now, your best thoughts, your ideas, and you can answer the questions in the mini family constitution workbook I mentioned at wealthfactory.com/family. All right, the second thing is defining what legacy means to you, defining your legacy. What is it that's a win for you? We are so trapped in societal success in this world. It's really promoting activity and consumption. It's born of scarcity, and when we're in scarcity, we're not even abundant enough to think about how we can provide value for others or think about a legacy because we're just trying to make ends meet. That sucks. And I want to give you this resource, which is What Would the Rockefellers Do, a book that I wrote. You can text 801-503-9667. You can download your own copy so you have this manual and map and instructions of how you can start to do this for your life. Plus you have the workbook where you can personalize it, right? Like, I want you to know, what does legacy mean to you? For me, it means quality of life. For it means relaxation, rejuvenation, and recreation. But most importantly, legacy means to me soul purpose, S-O-U-L. Soul purpose is your values, it's your abilities, it's your passions combined for the context or the highest vision of your life. And this purpose is something that you consistently look at, grow, and gain clarity of, so it drives you beyond just retirement, beyond just the minutia of day to day, but it's a compelling thing that has you get out of bed and be excited to do something because it's beyond any problem you face. It helps you to become more resourceful. It inspires other people to get involved, and all of us have one, but not everyone lives one. I want my kids to figure that out. What is their sole purpose? It's not my sole purpose, it's their sole purpose. And then choose a career that aligns with that sole purpose, that engages that sole purpose, that expands that sole purpose. And when they do, they can build a life that they love and be the best human being they can possibly be, living a life of service, solving problems, and living of value so that they can build confidence and so they can have the peace of mind that they earned something, they didn't just get gifted something. Like, as you could tell, I get passionate about this. And so Really, the third thing is really the secret ingredient. It's called the Board of Trustees. So the Board of Trustees can sound super boring. It sounds like a bank that goes and gets these really stuffy dudes that are in old brown suits and ties and glasses and just talking in a monotone way. That's not my Board of Trustees. My Board of Trustees is I said, okay, if I'm around, I'm going to teach my kids certain things. I'm going to teach them about soul purpose. I'm going to teach them about prosperity and money. I'm going to teach them about family. But if I'm not around, who are the people in my life that represent the best of who I look to be, edify, or just are good examples of these things I want to teach my kids? And so I thought of this group. I thought Rich Christensen has raised 5 amazing kids. He started 17 or 18 businesses and he sold successfully. Started more than that. He's written books. He's really dialed in on quality of life. I'm like, oh, they're Uncle Derek. Uncle Derek lives soul purpose, breathes soul purpose, loves soul purpose. And I'm like, the kids love him, they're connected to him. This guy Mo, brilliant at advanced finance, but even better at like really being a glue for his family. So I start to think through who are these people I want to influence my kids. So who is it that you know? Inside of that workbook, wealthfactory.com/family, we've got the questions for you to select your board. Now, I don't even pay my board while I'm alive. They only get paid after I'm gone. They're to support whoever's left over in my family, and especially my kids, so that they can grow up to be the best humans possible and they can live soul purpose. And this is important to me because my great-grandfather left Italy because he couldn't make ends meet, couldn't literally put enough food on the table to feed his pregnant wife, and had to leave his family, go across the ocean and risk his life, get on a train, end up in East Carbon, Utah, this tiny little town where there were some Greeks and Italian immigrants that were there to work in coal mines, save money for 7 years, that created plenty of scarcity because they not having money separated them. Bad trust planning puts people into entitlement and laziness, and no financial knowledge and insight puts people into scarcity and separation like my great-grandfather. So I want to make sure that my kids have an opportunity to build a life they love. They can make those bold moves. They don't have to live their life completely based upon doing nothing because there's plenty of money. But they don't have to not do things because there's not enough opportunity. But most importantly, who are they in this world, and can they have that good example with the board? Go in the workbook, figure out who that board is so you can have the proper influence. Like this family constitution, I get it, the Declaration of Independence is kind of part of the piece, and the Constitution of the United States is part. I'm kind of combining the two and just simplifying it, calling it a family constitution, where you're leaving signposts. What are those most critical and important lessons that you've had in your life? What are the things you want your heirs to know? Whether it's great-great-great-grandkids that can go, hey, this is what you stood for, and this is the things that you could pass on as the most important book you'll ever write in your life. My first Constitution, 52 pages. We've got it down to 38 pages, making it even more succinct and clear, and really saying, hey, this isn't a mandate. This isn't some manifesto that says live like this or be ousted. It says, hey, these are insights. These are things that we're hoping are timeless, not trying to say, here's the tactic or strategy, but hey, the importance of having relationships and taking care of your health and investing in yourself. And what are those things that we learned that were part of the things that helped us to become successful that we could leave as those signposts for our future generations with the proper guidance through a board of trustees, and ultimately having them live within their soul purpose, not living their life for us or someone else, but finding out their place in this world and then supporting that with matching and incentives and not leaving them completely starting from scratch. So how do you create your instructions for a happy life? How do you capture the most important lessons, values, vision, and the essence of your family? I want you to start a family constitution so that you can have the impact, influence, and involvement in the people who you care most about even after you're dead. This is true legacy. Now you have the knowledge to transform your thoughts into profits and build the life you love. If you're looking for more on this topic, check out this video about the 3 building blocks of creating a legacy that will last. I'll see you there. What's the best way to invest in your 30s? Well, it's definitely not what you were thinking. What works for the greatest organizations, largest religions, and most impactful brands can massively impact your family for generations to come.